Hey folks, Jobin here. If you'll recall, a little while ago, I showed off a hybrid Benchmade that I traded for that somebody had made out of a Presidio handle and a bone collector blade. At the time, I noted that it seemed to me that the pivot bushings were a little too thick, making it not quite fit right. So I set about fixing that, and I was fairly happy with the method I came up with, so I thought I'd share it with you folks here. What we're going to be doing is essentially sanding down a washer. And for that we're going to need a few things. If you have a specific size you're going for and you're not just completely winging it, you're going to need a caliper to measure your progress. You're going to need a flat surface, seen here by this kitchen counter and cutting board. And you're going to need some sort of very flat object. Now in this case I'm using this sharpening puck for axes, which is pretty new and still very flat on the bottom. We're also going to need some various grades of sandpaper, but we'll get to that in a minute. Oh, actually, I'm going to say why we're doing things this way, and that's because if you just try to do it with sandpaper and your fingers, it's really hard. It's hard to exert any pressure, and the washer just keeps slipping out from your fingers. So you need some way of holding on to it and keeping very steady pressure. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little holder for it. And we're going to use a trusty friend, duct tape. Pull off a fairly long section of duct tape, probably about 8 or 9 inches, and make it into a small roll. Probably didn't need quite this much, but it's good to have some overlap. Then stick that on the thing that's going to be holding the washer. And starting from the center, push it out very flat. Now take your washer that you're going to be lapping, put it right in the middle, and stick it down. Now just to cut down on mess and to keep the duct tape from snagging the sandpaper quite as much, take some cello tape and put it around the washer. Not over it, just a strip on each side all the way around. Just covering up the unused sticky part of the tape. Looks like I got an arm hair in there or something. Ew. So, there we go. That's it. Dead simple. You have something that will hold on to the washer and give you a big surface to grasp and trap it between two flat surfaces. So at this point, you'll of course want to have measured the washer at the start to see how much you need to remove. But then starting with your thickest grade of sandpaper, just put it down. And maybe give the puck a spin every once in a while just to make sure that if you're exerting uneven pressure, you're doing it at least on different sides over time. This can actually take quite a while. Phosphor bronze washers are fairly abrasion resistant, so I'm not going to take you all the way through the process. But obviously, when you get very close to the size you want, move up a grade in sandpaper, with upgraded sandpaper, take out the scratches, and finish off with just some rough paper or cardboard with metal polish on it. Just go around a whole bunch of times, and even do the other side you didn't work with, and can generally end up with a washer that's smoother than factory. And of course, intermittently, as you're working with the sandpaper in the previous steps, you'll want to occasionally pull the washer off and check it with your micrometer. Check it with your micrometer to see where you're at, and then go back to work. The duct tape, you know, it won't last forever, but it doesn't have much problem. If you pull it off a few times and stick it back on, it still keeps working. Alright guys, so I hope some of you might find this useful if you're having to do some knife maintenance or upgrades. As always, this is Jobin signing off. Remember where your knife is.